Why do we sit here being silent, watching our leaders turn into tyrants? Have they forgotten which side they're fighting for? Checks and balances set aside and rule of laws, youths and ours, and Constitution openly ignored. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Is it time for right and left to join a greater cause? Man, I'm not okay. The rich claim to be victimized just to attack the marginalized. Is 1% really worth more than all the sick and poor? Always preaching about fellowship while planning their dictatorship. Now we've seen how all of this plays out before. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call. Man, I'm not okay. Ever wonder all the mystery, why they whitewash our history, keep dividing is their plan? All in all, such a scam. Algorithm very sly, only used to spread the lies. Politicians know well, hate is simple to upsell. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call.
We are not okay. America is not okay, and we all know that. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, this is The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Let's figure out how to get okay together. Hey, Wednesday. Hope you're having a good week. I don't really fit anywhere politically. You know that. I've talked about that now for years. This former Republican congressman, this former Tea Party guy, this former Republican, this former independent, this guy who now is a temporary Democrat. I don't really fit anywhere politically. It's not easy, but I've resigned myself to that, and there's nothing else I can do because I am what I am. I have to say what I believe. I support the issues and the policies I support. So no regrets, no doubts, no regrets. Maybe every now and then a doubt over things I've done the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years, but no regrets. I am who I am, and who I am in American politics in 2026 does not really fit in either political party. I'm clearly, I clearly do not fit in today's Republican Party, which is why I left today's Republican Party about, 6, 7 years ago. And I don't think I'll ever fit in that Republican Party ever again. I'm a Democrat now for 10 to 11 months, but as I tell everybody, I'm a temporary Democrat. I'm a Democrat only because I want to help the Democrats defeat my former party. When it comes to policy, when it comes to things I believe in, I'm not really a Democrat. I'm politically homeless, and that's fine, right? Because we all got to be who we are. And if we are who we are and it doesn't fit in either box, then it doesn't fit in either box. Now, you can do what a lot of Republicans, every Republican has done in this Trump era, and make yourself fit in that box. And there are a lot of Democrats who make themselves fit in that box. And maybe, though I'll probably be long gone, but maybe not, but maybe there will be one day a viable third party, maybe even a viable fourth party. Who knows? That's a long-winded introduction this Wednesday to the point I wanted to get at. I am an absolutist about the things I believe in. One of the things I believe in, one of the things that I am an absolutist about is free speech. Period. End of story. One of the reasons I love this country of ours is because we have, in spite of the guy in the White House, the tyrant, the fascist in the White House, we have the most open, broadest, most liberal definition of free speech in America compared to all of our allies around the world. This is still the place where you are allowed more than any other country on the planet to say what you want to say what you believe. Plenty of our European allies have a much different notion of free speech. Plenty of our European allies will penalize and criminalize speech. Thank God right now, and we're hanging by a thread because we do have a fascist in the White House who abhors free speech, but right now we're hanging by a thread. This notion of free speech. I'm an absolutist with free speech, and I'll criticize, and I have, man, over the years, criticized the left and Democrats when they try to silence and censor speech. We now live in an era where it's the Republicans, it's my former party, hell bent on silencing and censoring speech because my former party is a cult. It's an authoritarian embracing cult, and their cult leader, Donald Trump, the guy in the White House, the fascist in the White House, he despises free speech. Now, there's always a wrinkle with Trump because he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't really understand free speech, but Trump instinctively, like any good dictator, like any good fascist, does not want to allow speech that criticizes him. He wants to get rid of all speech that he doesn't like. Like all good dictators, Trump, the current president of the United States, would love to, if he could, and he's trying, throw people in jail who exercise speech he doesn't like. Just to remind you, just in the last day or two, what was it, 2 days ago, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, demanded that a comedian be fired for telling a joke. There's no but. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. A comedian told a joke last week, and the president of the United States demanded that comedian be fired. That is a direct assault on free speech. And if you don't understand that, if you can't see that, if you can't agree with that, I pray for you. No buts. A comedian told a joke. End of story. In America, you can be a comedian and tell a joke about Trump, about Obama, about Muslims, about Christians, about Jews. In America, hell yes, you can tell a joke and offend anybody because we have free speech. So 2 days ago, Trump went after a comedian for telling a joke, trying to silence that comedian, demanding that comedian be fired. And again, we've normalized. I think about my show yesterday. What are we even doing, right? That question kept banging in my head. What are we even doing having a debate on whose rhetoric is the worst? He's a fucking monster in the White House. Nobody's rhetoric comes close to Trump's. We so normalize this un-American behavior. The president of the United States, using the powers of his office, the most powerful office on the planet, using the powers of his taxpayer-funded office to demand a private individual be fired. Like, it's about the 400th time Trump's done this. I don't want the American people to think this is normal, this is right, this is the way it should be. That the president, the most powerful guy on the planet, can use the powers of his office to go after people, to demand people lose their livelihoods. Like, this should not be normal. It's wrong. And I think I said yesterday or the day before on some show, just imagine the next Democratic president using the powers of his or her office to demand that Sean Hannity be fired because he or she didn't like what Sean Hannity said about him. And so imagine that Democratic president sent out a tweet demanding that Hannity be fired. You imagine how fucking bananas the right would go? Do you imagine how bananas Fox News audience would go? And they should go bananas. They should go ballistic because it would be horrible and wrong. So why, right, my Fox News audience, right, all you Trump supporters, why is it not wrong what Trump's doing now, demanding that another private individual be fired, a comedian? Now, a Democratic president, the next Democratic president will not do that. But my fear is the normalization of this, especially with young Americans. Like, this is normal life. The president can use the power of that office to get people fired, to get people to shut up, just private individuals, go after private companies. This is not normal. This is not right. And then yesterday, Trump indicted James Comey again. Yesterday, Donald Trump indicted James Comey for the second time, former FBI director James Comey for the second time. For what? James Comey was exercising his free speech. Now, if you quibble with me that Donald Trump didn't indict James Comey yesterday, I'm going to respectfully say, fuck you, right? Because Trump demanded the Justice Department indict him again. Ordered, demanded. And again, behavior that is not normal, that is not right. The President of the United States should not run America's Justice Department. But we've blown through that wall. And so now how many Americans are out there right now who believe right now that the Justice Department is like the president's law firm? But Trump indicted Comey again yesterday for what? Keith, we got that image? James Comey last summer on vacation in North Carolina. James Comey posted this. 86-47. 86-47. 47 being the 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump. Keep that up for a sec, Keith. Comey posted that almost a year ago. I think it was early the summer of 25. Right away took it down and apologized for it. But that right there with seashells, 86-47. James Comey, the former FBI director, has been indicted for threatening the life of the President of the United States. Now, for those of you at home who don't understand what 86 means, it's a slang term. I used to wait tables for years. I bartended for years. It's a slang term typically found in restaurants and bars, which means 86 can mean throw out. Hey, throw out the salmon. Hey, 86, the salmon on the menu, discard, refuse service to a certain table, remove an item. 86. 86, the cheeseburgers. Thanks, Keith. And I suppose you could interpret it as 86. Throw out Trump, discard Trump, get rid of Trump. Somebody kill Trump. Except James Comey came out and said that's not at all what he meant. And he removed the post. I'm not going to get into it. Every legal scholar in the last 24 hours, from left to right, has said that this indictment is an utter joke, an absolute joke that will go nowhere. The entire case is that image and what Comey said. No, I did not at all mean to threaten the president's life. That's it. That's it. That's the entire case. The point is, this is another attack on the free speech rights of a private individual in America. And from the moment he got sworn in, Trump has used the Justice Department to go after his political enemies. It's the second time he indicted Comey. The first one was thrown out. This one will get thrown out as well. That doesn't matter. What matters is the president is using the powers of his office to tell the Justice Department what to do. That's wrong. That's un-American. That's illegal. That's impeachable. And once again, Donald Trump is attacking free speech. Demands a comedian get fired for telling a joke. Demands a former FBI director be thrown into jail for expressing an opinion. It's always difficult with Trump. And I mean this because he really is an idiot. I know that Trump doesn't really formally understand what free speech is. But we also just know that he's going after all of his political opponents for exercising it. Because Trump doesn't like criticism, so he tries to silence it. Trump doesn't like people attacking him, so he tries to throw them in jail. It's something, isn't it? And it was on display yesterday when King Charles visiting America, speaking before a joint session of Congress. Think about it, 250 years later, a literal king coming here, lecturing America 250 years later about you better defend democracy and freedom. You're losing your way, America. You've forgotten checks and balances and separation of powers. I'm a king. You better listen to me. I thought there were no kings in America. I mean, it was something listening to King Charles come here yesterday and rightly lecture this country on freedom and opposing kings in America. That on its own should wake up so many Americans. The other reminder when I saw this story of Trump indicting Comey for posting that image with seashells is how soft we've all gotten as a people in America when it comes to speech. This is across the board, left, right, and in between. When it comes to speech in America, we used to be much more tolerant. We used to be much tougher. We used to put up with people said mean, shitty, offensive things to us back in prior generations, and we Americans wouldn't cry about it or whine about it or sued somebody or tried to get somebody thrown in jail because we didn't like what they said. We used to, right, prior generations, live according to that maxim, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. We now live in a time, and again, it's across the political spectrum, because it wasn't that long ago that I'm on the radio making fun of the left for needing their safe spaces from speech that made them so easily triggered. We now live in a time where it's MAGA. It's the MAGA right that's so easily triggered, and they want to ban speech that offends them. But it makes me sad because way too many of us, by the way, Trump's the paradigm, Trump's the example, Trump's the consequence of this, right? A dictator, a fascist, a crybaby, a victim who wants to outlaw and censor speech he finds offensive, right? He's the worst of us when it comes to free speech, but he's in the White House to a large degree because so many people in America have lost, are losing their way when it comes to really accepting free speech. And I worry about a day coming where we might literally criminalize speech in this country. You say something offensive about a Jew or a Muslim, like in European countries, and you've got cops knocking on your door. You post something on Facebook that's offensive about Muslims or Jews or Christians, and the local police are knocking on your door, right? Can never happen in America, right? Will never happen in America, right? I hope not. I'm not so sure. This image that Comey posted, 8647. Terry Moran, formerly of ABC News, posted something yesterday that was a great reminder, gives great context to how we've all weakened our belief in speech. We're not as tough and resilient when it comes to free speech, when it comes to allowing free speech in this country anymore. In 1969, there was a case that got to the Supreme Court. A Vietnam War protester who opposed the draft publicly said in 1969, if they ever make me carry a rifle, the first man I want to get in my sights is LBJ. 1969, Vietnam War protester publicly said, if they ever make me carry a rifle, the first man I want to get in my sights is LBJ, President Johnson. That guy, back in 1969, that protester, he was charged with threatening the president. The Supreme Court tossed the case in 1969, got rid of it, declaring that political hyperbole is free speech. Oh my God, how far we've fallen. In 1969, you could say, hey, if they ever make me serve in Vietnam, man, and they make me carry a rifle, first guy I want in my sights is President Johnson. If you said something like that today, the entire country would wig out. The other side would wig out. Depending on who said it, left or right, the other side would go crazy. You'd probably be arrested, or somebody'd knock on your doors. Somebody'd sue you. Somebody'd go after you. I don't know what would happen if you said something like that today. If I said today, man, if Trump's trying to institute the draft, and I said today, man, if Donald Trump institutes the draft and he tries to draft my son, man, and he makes my son carry a rifle, man, I hope my son will put him in his sights, President Trump in his sights. The first one my son puts in his sights, I hope will be President Trump. If I said something like that today, I would be wiped out. Advertisers would flee. I'd probably lose my show. I'd be bounced off of platforms. The right would demand that I be fired, and I'd be kicked off of social media, and I would probably be charged with something. Because again, we've softened on speech. We've weakened on speech. We've grown less tolerant of real free speech. We are way too fucking easily offended by speech, much more so than 1969. I mean, this Vietnam protester said that. He was charged, but then the Supreme Court, immediately threw it out. That's political hyperbole. And political hyperbole is protected speech. It's a funny place to be in. A president who goes after free speech every single day. And a country full of people, I fear, is not embracing free speech like prior Americans did. Two other quick stories this Wednesday. There's so much that happens every day. Like, hello, meanwhile, we're still at war in Iran. You know that? See the price of gas yesterday at the pump? See that price of gas going up, highest in 5 years? We're still at war. The economy's still being hammered. Trump came out, I think, yesterday and declared victory for the 19th time. I'm not kidding. So much going on, so much shit and crap every single day. We miss stories that are important. Like this one. Keith, you got that U.S. ambassador to Ukraine? Like, nobody's going to talk about this today. Keep that up for a sec, Keith. The second United States ambassador to Ukraine, the second ambassador in a row, just resigned. Julie Davis, acting U.S. ambassador in Kyiv. She resigned yesterday following her predecessor, Bridget Brink, who resigned a year and a half ago. Two U.S. ambassadors to Ukraine resigning, back to back, right in a row. Keep that up for a sec, Keith. Why? Julie Davis said, because of growing frustration of Trump's dwindling support for Ukraine. Julie Davis, our ambassador to Ukraine, resigned point blank because she does not believe the President of the United States supports Ukraine. And so she can't in good conscience serve in that position. Her predecessor, Bridget Brink, said the exact same thing. She resigned because she said the President of the United States does not support Ukraine. Thanks, Keith. Think about that. Again, I know there's so much else going on today, right? So much else every day to think about. This one won't get noticed. This one will slip under the rug. Our last two ambassadors to Ukraine resigning because Trump doesn't support Ukraine. Now that should just right be a 5-alarm fire, man. Red flag, man. That's a big deal. Oh my God. Putin versus Ukraine. Putin invades Ukraine. Here we are 4 years later. They're still going at it. And we actually have a guy in the White House who is not on Ukraine's side, but is actually on Putin's side. Whoa, world, wake up. America, wake up. This is like frightening. Should be. Should be big news. Should be. But it won't be. It won't be. This story will barely garner a blip. And when I read about this yesterday, knowing that the first ambassador resigned a year ago and why she resigned, because Trump doesn't support Ukraine, this was not at all surprising to me. And it shouldn't be surprising to anybody who's paying attention. Because, as we've said now a gazillion times, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, sides with Putin. He's on Putin's side. He's on the bad guy's side. He's siding with Putin over Ukraine. He has from the moment he was sworn in. It's a horrible, scary truth. Trump works for Putin. The President of the United States works for Putin. The President of the United States, as long as he's President of the United States is not on the side of the free world. Ukraine is fighting the fight for the free world. Russia is opposed to the free world. America right now, where's America right now? We're with Russia. We're with Putin. We're against the free world. Because we have somebody in the White House who works for Putin. We have a president who's on Putin's side. Life's just too short to beat around the bush. We have a Russian asset in the White House, wittingly or unwittingly. And I've known this for a while. Maybe you have. It should still be just unbelievably frightening. 2 ambassadors in a row telling the world, we're out of here because Trump's with Putin. I can't be the ambassador to Ukraine. I want Ukraine to succeed. I can't do my job when the guy above me wants Putin to succeed. That's enough, Keith. I'm done. I had 3 other things, but I won't get to 3 other things right now. HopeNotFearProject.org. There it is right there. HopeNotFearProject.org. Check it out. The conversations I'm having around the country every 2 weeks, putting people in a room who disagree, having these tough conversations, filming these tough conversations, and putting the stuff out there for you to see. Go to HopeNotFearProject.org. Check it all out. You want to shoot me an email, do, about anything that's on your mind. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. That's all one word. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. By the way, if you'd like me to come to your community, your town, your neighborhood, your area in this great, big, diverse country, shoot me an email. I'll put people in a room in your community who disagree politically. And we'll have a good, hard, honest, respectful conversation. And we'll model for the rest of the country how to do that. Shoot me an email if you'd like me to come to your area. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, follow, and share The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple, Spotify. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to The Social Contract on Substack. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.